everyone. In one way, I want you to watch this right now, but in another way, I hope you're not, because it's very late. I had a really long weekend, and I actually had a minor surgery on Monday, and I'm still recovering from. So I had a deviated septum, so it was a bit of a nasal surgery. So if I sound a bit weird, forgive me for that, but I wanted to do this training this week because I think it's really important. So hopefully you make some time to go over this, because we're going to talk about the question that I asked earlier. I think it was on Friday, but there's a lot of good discussion around it. For those that are new here, there's a lot of new people here in the last couple of weeks since the last time I did a training. My name is Jason Hamilton. I'm the founder of Keep It Simple Financial Planning and also the admin of this group. I'm a registered investment advisor, and I specialize in helping clients retire with confidence. So retirement is really important to me. My mother was not treated correctly, was not treated very well when she was planning for retirement. So I actually learned all this stuff on my own years ago to, one, help her, but then now it's transitioned to my career. I own and run a firm here in Orange County, California, and we help people nationwide. Clients from here to DC, down to Louisiana, Florida, Michigan, all over the place. So wherever you're at, if you have questions, we can definitely help you out. But what I want to cover today is this question here. Let me share the screen with you. Okay, so I asked this question earlier this week. Is it better to take distributions from your IRA or 401k earlier than 70 and a half years old, or and delay Social Security until 70, or to take Social Security early? So there was, I think, 25 comments, which is great. But there was a wide range of beliefs and opinions on the subject. So what I want to do is really answer this question to the best I can to a general audience, okay? So a couple really, really good answers that I want to address and acknowledge these people right away. But Alex. So Alex had a really good answer. So if you haven't read Alex's answer, but he had a really, really good answer. But then also Brian. So Brian had some very thoughtful answers. He's put a lot of thought into this decision. But those two, I think, were some of the best answers. Unfortunately, there were some answers that I don't think were that great either. The ones where it says, hey, we don't know if you're going to be alive, right, until 70 or until whatever age. So just take it as early as you can. I can understand why some people feel that way, but in all honesty, that is probably the worst, reason you would decide to take Social Security, okay? So we're going to talk through some of the reasons you would or wouldn't, and what are some things that you should be considering when making this massive decision, okay? I've seen people, by doing the actual math and the actual calculations, be able to generate an additional $270,000 of retirement income by delaying, and taking it at different times, right? And you and your spouse, if you're married, don't have to take it at the same time. One can claim early, one can claim later. That's fine. But by maximizing this decision, it's easily a six-figure decision over your retirement window. So think about it like this. If you're going into retirement and you have $250,000, nest egg, for example, it could be almost half of that. It could be 50% more, or it could be doubling your nest egg by making the right decision, okay? So it's really, really important. I want to walk through some things here. And then I know it's late, hopefully you guys see this tomorrow. I just wanted to do it tonight or today. It was really important to me. It was a really long day, really long week recovering from surgery, and then also preparing for surgery. I had to take almost a whole week off because I couldn't do anything. If you've ever had any sort of surgery, like a deviated septum, you know that like your nose is plugged for like 3 or 4 days, and you just don't feel 100%. So, but I want to try to do a training every Sunday. Okay, so that's my goal, is to do a training for you guys every Sunday. So I'll be continuing to ask questions. I'll be continuing to survey you, because in reality, that's the best way that I can serve you. There's a lot of things I can make up on my own, but I want to know what you folks want to learn about, and I want to do my best to help you out. Okay, but keep in mind, I do have to keep things pretty general in a sense where I have to make this information applicable across a wide range of folks that are in here. We have over 600 people now, and there's just no way to answer everybody's very niche specific questions. But there is a way to contact me, and I'll show you how if you do have specific questions, and I'm happy to help you out with that. Okay, so without further ado, let's get into today's training on, is it better to take distributions from your IRA early or to take a Social Security early, and see what's better for you. Okay, so take earlier delay. So before we get started, there's a couple corrections I want to make about Social Security and the way it's portrayed that many politicians get wrong, the news gets it wrong all the time. And I want to make sure we think about it in a different way, because if we shift the way we're thinking about it, maybe it'll help make your decision a little bit different too, okay? I see 4 people are on here. If you're on, leave a comment, leave a question. If anything comes up along the way, I would love to interact with you. You know, some of you folks are some late night folks, so that's good. Okay, I'll pull up my phone here. Thank you, Bert, on Congrats 600 members. Thank you guys so much. And if you guys have anybody that you think could benefit from this group, please invite them. Okay, you're welcome to invite people. And if everybody invited one person, we'll be at 1,200 before next week, right? So let's make that a goal. Okay, so the first thing I want to talk about though is Social Security is not an entitlement program or a social insurance program. Okay, they talk about it all the time, and very, very smart people talk about Social Security as being an entitlement program. It's not, okay? Because it is not needs-based, right? So welfare, for example, needs-based. If you have food stamps, that's needs-based. Social Security is not needs-based. If you don't participate, you're not going to get any sort of payout. You have to meet the minimum requirements to get any sort of Social Security. Social Security is a social insurance program. So we pay in, then when we need it, whether it's retirement, disability, then we take it, okay? So it's just like an insurance plan that you're paying for, you know, almost like an annuity in a sense that you're paying for ahead of time. So this is an important distinction, and it's one that a lot of politicians especially get wrong. They talk about this all the time, right? A lot of them get it so wrong. So please, let's clear up that distinction, that it is not a social welfare program. It is a social insurance program, okay? It's not an entitlement program. So since it is not a welfare benefit and it's something that you pay into, this is why I believe that it's something you should do your best to maximize, okay, within reason, right? So, you know, delaying a couple extra years if you don't necessarily need to and you want to use the money, that's okay. But taking it just at 62, the earliest you can, you're giving up a huge, huge benefit that's a lifelong benefit that what we'll talk about later is inflation adjusted. That's really hard to get. Most of these annuities you're looking out there in the market, they probably don't talk to you about this, but most of them, almost all of them, are not inflation adjusted. So the payment may sound good today, but is it going to sound good in 20 years? Think about what you made 20 years ago versus today and what it takes to live. You know, it's different, right? So it's really, really important to consider that, okay? So that being said, it is critically important for most retirees. Nearly 2 in 3, about 66%, get half or more of their retirement income from Social Security. Again, more and more reasons to delay as much as you can. If half or more of your retirement income is going to be from Social Security, you want to maximize this thing, okay? So for one, oops, let me go back 1 second. Sorry, it skipped. Come on, buddy. Gotta love technology. Okay, let me give it 1 second. Wow, it's getting me back there a lot. Sorry, guys. 1 second. Let me just catch back up. I'm dealing with like a delay of live video, so hopefully you can understand. It's kind of weird. But I want to do it live because if anybody's here, they want to ask questions, they can. But also, you all get notified too. So it's much better than posting a video. Okay. So for 1 in 5 retirees, it's about 20%. Social Security is their only source of income. Okay. So it's a big deal, right? So if your only source of income is Social Security and you're taking it early, I mean, you're giving up a huge, huge amount of potential income for the long term. Try not to skip here, okay? So most people receive about $1,400 to $2,700 a month. Like, it's not a lot of income per se. It might be fine for some of you because, say, your house is paid off, you have some money saved, you know, you don't have a lot of bills. That might be able to cover everything, but in reality, I mean, it's just not a whole lot of income. But if you look at the difference, I mean, that's almost double by, you know, delaying, right? I mean, it's huge. One drawback is that it's enormously complex, okay? I see Social Security offices get their stuff wrong all the time, okay? There's a lot of mistakes that happen at the Social Security Administration. It's one reason I pay a lot of money for very good, expensive software to help me, you know, help you maximize Social Security. There's like 10,000 ways to claim, actually. Like, that is just really ridiculous when I saw that number, and really how complicated it can get. So it can be simple. You can just pick a number and decide, but in reality, it can be very, very complex, especially if you have unique situations. So getting some help on this could be valuable to you. Okay, and then with the decline in pension plans, Social Security is going to be the only source of guaranteed inflation-adjusted lifetime income. Inflation adjusted is so important. That means it goes up a little bit each year. That keeps up with, you know, the cost of bread, the cost of gas, things like that. And, you know, if you're going to live, which I'll talk about later, you could potentially be living 20, 30, or 40 years in retirement. Think about the cost of things 40 years ago and 30 years ago. It's a completely different world, right? Here's one thing though, like about 66%, it's their main source of income, but Social Security was never meant to be a retiree's sole source of income. It was meant to be a floor, right? A floor or a foundation of retirement income to meet basic needs. Essentially to make sure that people just don't end up with zero and out on the street just completely poor. I mean, that's what it's meant for, but a lot of folks rely on it for their whole, or a big chunk of their retirement income because they just didn't save or invest or whatever it may be. What I'll talk to you about real quick is AIME, AIM, whatever you want to call it. It stands for Average Indexed Monthly Earnings. Okay, this is an important thing you should know. AIM is used to determine the amount of Social Security you will receive. How it breaks down is it's a calculation, right? So you take your top 35 years of earnings, right? And then you divide that by 420 months, which is really just 35 years. So you take all your earnings over your top 35 years, I should say. So if you work more than 35 years, then you would take your top 35 years of earnings and divide that by 420. Then that's part of the calculation to get your average index monthly earnings. Some people may work more, some people may work less. This is one reason it may make sense to work an extra year or two as it can impact your benefits. So think about it like this. Say you want to retire at 62, for example, and maybe you were in college and you did some part-time jobs, and maybe you, for the first 10 years or 15 years, you only made maybe $15,000 or $20,000 or $25,000, right? But maybe in the last 5 or 10 years of your working life, maybe you made $80,000, maybe you made $200,000, right? So averaging those out, if you were to work an extra year at $200,000 of income, or really anything more than the lowest years, it can have a pretty big impact on your monthly benefit, right? So the decision is not always simply financial. Like, you want to look at all the factors when it comes to deciding when to claim and when to retire, because you can really make a big difference long term by working an extra year or two, even if I know sometimes you don't feel like it, you just want to get out of there, but even part-time work can help. So the other thing I want to talk to you about is the impact of zeros. Okay, so what that is any zero earning years that you have. So if you have 35 years or less than 35 years, so 34 years or less of working years. So if you have any years where you're out of work, maybe you didn't work that whole time, these are your zero earning years. Okay, these years impact immensely. It's a huge impact on your benefit when you look at dividing your top 35 years by that 420 number. So if you work 35 years, zero is substituted for those earning years. So like I said, it can have a significant impact on your average index monthly earnings. So even if part-time work is continued, it's still much better than zeros. Like, I have a lot of retiree clients that they're working part-time, but they may make $20 or $25, right, an hour. Think about what you made 35 years ago. It might have been $3 or $4 or $5. So even at $20 or $25 an hour, part-time, that can raise, a decent amount of income and also give you some extra earnings so we don't have to draw on your assets as well, which is good to increase that Social Security benefit. So PIA, primary insurance amount, another very important term. So PIA is the benefit you will receive if you begin Social Security retirement benefits at your full retirement age. Okay, and everybody's is a little bit different. I'm going to talk about that. But that's what it is if you begin your benefit at your full retirement age. So I'm sure you got the statements in your mail that show you. You may have to go online now. I don't think they always send statements, but they'll show you, what your benefit will be if you take it early, what it will be at full retirement age, and then usually they'll show you what it will be at 70 based on your current earnings. But those numbers can change based on if you earn more or if you were to have higher earning years than you did out of your top 35. If you want to get your earnings history, and this is one thing I highly recommend you do before, and I would give it at least 6 months to a year before you want to claim Social Security. Go to ssa.gov/myaccount. Not only to just check your earnings, but also to verify that everything is correct. Okay, there's a lot of mistakes that happen at the Social Security office. And if you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years that are not correct when it comes to your earnings, again, that's just like you earn less, right? And so that's going to affect your primary insurance or your primary insurance amount. So you want to make sure you go check that out. Check it out early, because if you do need to make changes and repairs to that, it could be 30 days, but it could be 6 months or a year. It depends on how busy your office is. So go ahead and get that checked out as soon as you can. PIA is important because all other benefits are based on this amount. Okay, So your spousal benefit, your disability, your survivor, everything is based on your PIA. So it's not just impacting you, right? If you want to take it a little bit earlier, you want to take, delay a year and get some more. This is going to impact if you have a spouse or any sort of survivor at any point. It's going to impact the amount they receive forever. So it's not only just a personal decision. It's actually like, it's a whole, spousal decision together. And it's a lot that goes into that. So not just on your own island here, okay? High earners, this is pretty straightforward, but high earners will have a higher dollar amount of benefit, but a lower percentage of income replacement. That makes sense, right? If you make a bunch of money, you are going to have a higher dollar amount in Social Security payments, but it's going to replace a lower percentage of your income that you're used to living off of. So that's pretty straightforward. But PIA does receive an annual cost of living adjustment based on CPI, so Consumer Price Index. So really important, that increase. Again, it may not seem like a lot. It might be like 1.7, 2%, kind of 2% is the average they shoot for. But over 20 years, again, that could be a big, big difference when it comes to your monthly amount you have to live on of guaranteed income. So here's full retirement age, okay? If you were born in 1960 and later, then your full retirement age is 67, okay? They're probably going to increase that for us younger folks. But, it is what it is right now, 67. If you were born 1937 and earlier, your full retirement age is 65. If you're between 43 and 54, it's 66. Outside of these dates, it's that year, but it's a certain number of months, right? There's a lot of folks that I'm getting, that I'm working with now that are like 66 and 8 months, 66 and 10 months. So you want to know exactly what that is because you really don't want to claim early if you're just a couple months off because that could be a big difference in monthly income just by making sure you get that right, okay? So let's talk about starting before full retirement age, okay? Full retirement age is like the big number where if you can delay till then, you get the biggest benefit, and then it's a continued benefit after. So if you start before full retirement age, so say you start at 62, you're going to get an immediate 30% reduction of benefit. That's forever, right? That's 1/3. That's a big amount of reduction on your monthly guaranteed income forever, okay? If you 63, it's a 25%, again, still a big chunk. 64 is 20%, 65 is 13.3, and 66 is 6.7. So just apply this to whatever your full retirement age is, and it's these numbers before that. So that's a pretty darn big impact by drawing even just a few years earlier than your full retirement age. But starting after full retirement age, you will receive delayed retirement credits that will increase your monthly benefit by approximately 8% per year. So going from 62 to say 67, that's 30%. And if you go from 67 to 70, that's another, 3-4 years. So that could be about 60%, right? Or more of a difference in monthly guaranteed income for life by delaying. That could be a lot. Okay, if we go back to what we had stated earlier, and if 66% of retirees have Social Security as being their largest form of guaranteed, or income source, that's a big deal, right? So really, really important, okay? And I just think a lot of people don't really look at these numbers and really understand what it's impacting them. So I wanted to make sure we covered this with you guys because I know we had questions about this before. Okay. So here's the general rule, okay? I know there were some comments like, well, what if I don't live to 70? What if I don't live that long, right? In all honesty, I think that's really it's a scarcity mindset. It's a fatalistic mindset, and I really don't subscribe to that. But generally, if you expect to live past age 78 to 80, you're better delaying, okay? If you have health issues, right? Different story, okay? If you've already have some health issues, you have cancer, you have other things that are going on, then or you have financial issues, right? You may have no other choice but to claim early. But generally, if you expect to live past age 78 to 80, I'm going to talk about the averages coming up here. But you're better delaying. Okay, it makes more sense to delay. How much you delay is going to depend on your unique situation and say how much assets you have versus really taking that payment. Right? It's a balancing act. But here's the big tragedy, and here's why I push you guys so much to delay, because almost half of all retirees take payment to 62. Right? They just take at the minimum. They're living in fear. They're scared that they're going to pass away, blah, blah, blah. Most likely you're not, right? But hey, you know what? They want to take it because they want to get what's owed to them. They want to get something, but you're giving away a big chunk. Okay, this is half of all retirees. Horrible. Here's the reality. Of those eligible for Social Security retirement, 44% claim at age 62. Only 1% delay until 70. And less than 1 in 3 file for benefits at full retirement age or later. Okay? To me, this is completely crazy. I want to take a minute here. If anybody who's watching wants to drop a question in, I'm happy to discuss that about anything we've covered so far. But I want you just to look at these numbers for a second. Okay? Almost half, 44% are claiming at 62. So people claiming at 62 are giving up 64% of their benefit, right? 62%, right off the top. Only 1% are delaying until 70. So that tells me 99% of people are thinking that they're either going to pass away or that they shouldn't be delaying until 70, right? Even worse, less than 1 in 3 file for benefits at full retirement age or later. So less than 33% are at least getting full retirement age. That's what I would want for you, is at least full retirement age, because that is a big difference. If you're healthy, if you have, other things are going the right way. But at least wait till that. If you can wait till 70 or a little bit longer, again, it's 8% guaranteed income. It's very difficult to get 8% guaranteed income on any of your assets. It really is. And most studies show that it's better to draw on your 401k and delay Social Security. Okay, and I have to put my disclaimer in here. This is definitely case by case, all right? But when you work the numbers, most studies show it's better to draw on your 401k or your IRA, whatever sort of plan you have, and delay Social Security, okay? When you delay it, again, case by case, but it's pretty clear when you look at the math that it makes more sense to delay. So when I see people saying, oh, take it as early as you can, blah, 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 really the math is always going to say to delay outside of like a health issue or a financial issue that you just really can't support yourself, right? So I want to move into framing the Social Security decision. So framing this decision is one of the biggest retirement decisions you can make, right? You got this. You have when you're going to leave your job. You have what sort of health care. So that's Medicare, whatever it may be. And then you have your investment plan to make sure that you're covered, right? So this is one of the biggest, this is the top decisions when it comes to making it. So I want to help you frame it, and I want to help you think about a way to, when you're making a decision on how to kind of put it together, okay? So it should be framed as an insurance decision because Social Security works like an annuity. So for any of you that have an annuity, I don't know if your salesperson explained it to you well, but the longer you wait to annuitize or to enact your annuity and actually start taking a monthly benefit, the higher amount the benefit's going to be on average, right? It's just, the longer you can wait, the less time they think you have based on the actuarial tables, and the less time they think you're going to be alive, which means they can pay out a higher dollar amount and still make a lot of money and commissions off you, right? But that's how you should think about it. It's not just take it as early as you can to just get your money. It should be thought about very, very consciously like an insurance decision. But you still must consider a number of factors. So here are the main factors, right? There's some really good comments on my original question on factors to consider, and I think they included all of these, but I didn't see all of them included. There was a lot of them included, but not all of them. So employment, right? So if you're going to work and you are thinking about claiming before full retirement age, you have a very limited amount of income that you can earn. Let me see what that number is without having to pay tax, right? It can really impact your Social Security. So currently, right now for this year, if you were to take Social Security before your full retirement age and continue working, if you make anything over $17,040, you're going to be paying a big chunk of your money to you're going to pay $1 for every $2 you earn above that, really, in taxes. So not good. Once you're at full retirement age, then you can make up to $45,360. Okay, I get that question a lot too. So anytime someone asks me that question, I'm going to send them here. And if you are reaching full retirement age, it's $1 for every $3, right? So it can be a big impact that it reduces. You will get it later, but if your whole thing is like, well, I want to get my money now, well, you're reducing your benefit now to hopefully get it later. So it just doesn't make sense logically. The logical argument is not there. The other things to consider, marital status, right? If you have a spouse to be concerned of, if if your assets, you have a ton of assets and you're going to be good, not as huge of a decision. But if you have a spouse that if you were to pass away, the main earner, and your spouse was only to have Social Security, or that was going to be his or her main source of income, then, the longer you wait, the more they're going to receive for life because they receive your benefit once you pass away. The other thing is health, right? So health is a big thing. If you have health scares, if you have health things going on where there's a good chance you're probably not going to make it to 78 to 80, and I don't want you to just do this based on fear, okay? I want you to base it on real, actual data. If you didn't take care of yourself or you face something very unfortunate like cancer or something like that was uncontrollable, then maybe you do take it early, okay? Personal wealth is another factor. Some folks, honestly, they cannot survive. They won't be able to pay their bills. They won't be able to eat unless they take Social Security early, okay? They just don't have a choice. So personal wealth is a big thing. Personal risk tolerance. That's an important thing. So risk tolerance, we talked a little bit about that in our last training. But, if you're willing to take a little bit more investment risk, for example, maybe, you can earn a higher return on your investments, and then that will cover the gap a little bit easier, and that will allow you to delay Social Security. And then the last thing is investment savvy. If you're putting all your money into fixed income products like annuities, which I don't recommend. I never recommend that. A percentage is okay, but you want to create that floor, right? That's like Social Security if you want to put a little bit of an annuity, but you want to have some assets, right, to cover things because once you annuitize, all you get is your payment. You can't go in and dip and take out from the original investment amount. That's gone. All you have is your monthly payment. So having some assets available for, unexpected house expenses or, health expenses or maybe things you want to do for yourself or your family, I think it's really important to have that available. So investment savvy is a big part of that, okay? And like I said, some may have no choice but to begin at 62, and that just is what it is. If you haven't saved enough, you have no choice, that is what it is. But that's not what this is about. And honestly, this group is not going to be that beneficial because my trainings are going to be mostly focused on people that are, they call them the, mass affluent, right? So say 250,000 to 2 million, maybe up to 5 million, some of the trainings, but that's really where most people are at when it comes to retirement assets. So we're going to talk about that range. And so I want you to not run out of money. That's my number one concern is that you don't run out of money. And having Social Security as a floor and spending a little bit of your assets to have a guaranteed higher floor, I think could be really beneficial in a lot of situations. So especially if you're on the lower end of that 250 or so, and that you're worried about it, right? So, okay, so let's talk about estimating life expectancy because this is another conversation we're going to have when we talk about Social Security. Here's some averages for you. A 65-year-old man will live on average to 84.3 years old, okay? So if you're 65 now, there's at least a 50% chance that you're going to live to 84.3. There's a 50% chance you can live longer as well, right? But for those folks saying, just take what you can, take as early as you can, blah, 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 because I'm not going to live that long, here's your statistics. A 65-year-old woman will live on average to 86.6. So in these cases, the average person is always going to make sense to delay Social Security. Because remember, I told you and I taught you that 78 to 80, if you're going to live that long, it makes sense to delay, right? Simple as that. So here's some averages. This is at least 50%. 50% are going to live longer and 50% are going to live shorter. But this is your average. 25% of you folks that are 65 now will live past 90. So that's 1 in 4. So start living past 90. When you do projections on Social Security up to 95 or 100, 105, which I have clients that are 70 and then their parents are 103 still driving to the store, still healthy, the numbers get pretty astronomical by the lane. We're talking like 300,000 plus, 340,000. I've seen that, okay? 10% of you folks that are 65 now will live past 95, so 1 in 10. I truly believe this is going to go up. I watch a lot of the medical technology that's being advanced right now. It's pretty crazy, the stuff that's coming out. If you make it another 10 to 12 years, you're going to see a lot of medical technology. They're going to be replacing organs, replacing really anything in your body, and it's going to help you live a lot longer, which is great in a sense if you're healthy, but it could be very scary if you are running out of money, and you plan to run out of money at 85 or 80, and you live to 105. That's a frightening situation. So we need to plan for these things and be really honest and realistic with ourselves, okay? So like I said, these are just averages, and 50% will live beyond, okay? It's just crazy. So don't think you're just going to pass away by 70. That's not the right way to I'm beating up on you guys a little bit. I do apologize for that, okay? I want to be nice about this. I really want to help you the best I can and give you the best information. And, really taking it at 62, if you can avoid it, let's avoid it. I want this group to be a very confident group of retirees and, building that bottom line income with Social Security, including other sources, can be really, really beneficial to your longevity goals, okay? So that's pretty much what I have for you today. I thank you so much for folks that are watching. I know it's super late. There's some of you that are, I think Bert's in Canada. He's up a lot. But for those of you that are watching, I really appreciate that. If you're watching this at a later time, okay, which most of you will, if you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments. I'll do my best to answer them. If you have questions that are unique to you, if you need your unique situation analyzed and you want to look at the real numbers when it comes to making this decision, I always have the option for you to contact me. I'm here to help, okay? I'm a registered investment advisor. I've studied this retirement stuff for years now. I've helped a lot of folks retire with confidence. I want to do the same for you, so I'm here to help you if you need help, okay? But there's going to be a lot of good trainings in this group that you can get for free, whatever, no cost. But this is also a complimentary retirement strategy call. If you want to book it, book a call with me. These spots are limited, okay? But they are there and they're available. You can go to KIS, like keep it simple, planning.com/apply. When you go there, you'll go right to my calendar page. You can pick a time that works for you, and then you'll be directed to a page to answer some questions to help us make the most of our time, okay? Social Security is never usually on an island, so I do need to know more. But I'm here to help if you need help, okay? But hopefully this training helped you out a lot, and you got some good stuff from it. And thank you for watching. It's been 30 minutes, and that's pretty much all I have for you today. Excuse me. So again, if you have questions, leave a comment. I'm happy to answer them throughout the week. I have a very busy week this week because I took a week off basically, and I'm recovering a little bit. So I'm here for you folks. So leave a comment, leave a question. Please also like this, because if you like it, it'll go to the top so a lot of people can see it. We have 600 people in this group. I would love for everybody to be able to watch this and be notified of this training, okay? Other than that, guys, have a great night. I'm really happy you're participating. You're asking questions. You're answering questions. And I want to be here to help you out, okay? Have a great evening, early morning, whatever it may be when you watch this, and we'll talk soon. Once again, my name is Jason Hamilton. I'm the admin of this group. Reach out to me if you need anything, all right? Have a great night, guys. Bye-bye.